Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Serious Slack with Serious Blaq. I am your host, Serious Blaq, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing a very good friend of mine, Gretchen Brooks. Gretchen is a well-known podcaster through several mediums and several topics, and we're going to get into that. But also, she is a film pro. And when I say pro, I mean she critiques, she watches, she studies. Uh, some of her podcasts are about that. Some of her platforms are about that, and we'll get into that too. But also, she's my monster pro, and she is known as a monster pro. Um, and I'm talking things like all the horror movies, the history of them, Kaiju, the Kaiju expert, faux show, and then Lovecraft expert, which, I've learned a lot about Lovecraft from her. So I'm looking forward to getting into this. Gretchen, please say hello to my audience, the Slack Pack. There you
Hi.
go. Thank you for being here today. Thanks for giving me your time.
Oh,
I know
thanks
you're
for having
busy.
me. Oh, please. I'm taking a brief break.
Before you do the other 15 million things you do. Okay.
Right. This is true.
Um,
Sorry, I have cats in the background that might be like kind of zooming through here, so I apologize in advance to the audience. Like
oh,
if I get distracted easily.
Don't worry about it. If they've been watching me for a while, they've already seen my cats jump up here on my keyboard, on my
Oh,
face. They're right. I
no.
just happen to have the door closed right now, so Thursday, he's the main protagonist, doesn't get in here and jump right in my face.
His name is Thursday. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, he's a rapscallion. So okay, I kind of like gave the audience a brief list of all the stuff you do, but I want to
Oh
go
boy.
back and be like, yo, how did you get into like you're a podcaster on several different shows. You're a film judge, and then like also like a monster expert. Where did this start?
Oh gosh. A lot of people will be like, back in my childhood. I mean, my first, okay, so like first horror film that I fell in love with,
Yeah.
let's see, weird made for TV movie from the 80s called This House Possessed. And it was about a
Wow.
smart house that was attacking its owners. It was a really bad. I mean, I found it on YouTube recently to rewatch it going because I had all these like childhood like fever dream feelings about it and I was like, what is how does that hold up these days?
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, it's a made for TV movie in the 80s and so the film is just like it's
Oh man, I bet you the
terrible.
music in that is great.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched it and I was like, "Oh wow, this is not hold up at all. It is terrible." Like there was these scenes I always played out in my head that I was like, "Oh, that was so scary to me as a little kid."
Oh
Not
my god.
scary. Not scary. Looked like a
Oh.
weird after school special about a smart house gone awry. But no,
Oh.
so that is was my first horror film, but my first like how I got into like podcasting is I was asked to be there was a group of people who were here that did a small movie podcast that was we paired a drink cocktail with a specific movie and it was called the Horror Brew and
Ooh.
they've gone on to like go to live in Buffalo and whatnot, but they started the trivia night at the horror trivia night at the home a bar in Portland, and that has also like lived out itself too, as well as like it continued its legacy with
Yeah.
new trivia hosts and all that. But so I joined their podcast, and that was kind of like my first time doing it, and I became kind of an expert in like the Bechtel test. Do you know
Oh.
what that is?
Yeah. What? I mean,
So
okay.
yeah,
That's. I mean, it fits, but like I wasn't expecting you to say you went there.
well, that's kind of where it all started. Is I got
Okay.
tagged to do like a Women of Horror month on that show, and then became a co-host of that show. And
Mm-hmm.
then I was asked to do uh, a Women of Horror month on the Kaiju cast, where I talked about the Bechtel test in like different Kaiju films, and
Mm-hmm.
that was also like those kind of happened around the same time ish. Like I had done a few episodes of the Horror Brew, and then I got picked up on the Kaiju cast, and then ended up just staying with the Kaiju cast. The Horror Brew, again, like it moved on, but I was with the Kaiju cast like primarily for a good like 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah, went on for a long time. Yeah,
it was a 10-year show that has a giant fan base that is loving and so welcoming of like new blood into the show.
Yeah,
it was and that's kind of how it all started for me.
Well, it kind of helped that y'all knew what y'all was talking about too.
Well,
just a little bit.
I mean, and I didn't realize like how much because my entrance into like getting into kaiju films was kind of a backwards way. Like most people had the whole like Saturday like matinee or Sunday matinee thing, and for me though it was more like I loved Japanese horror, and I fucking just fell in love with the creepiness of Japanese horror, and it kind of propelled me into liking Godzilla films because I saw don't get me wrong, I saw Godzilla films like everybody else did on like, you know, matinees and things like that, but it didn't really resonate with me until I was an adult. And then I kind of became like on the Kaiju cast, I was the only one one of the few that were like, well, unless they're not a suit actor, it's not a real Kaiju film. My tune changed. But at first I was like, oh, only Showa era Godzilla. Like, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I don't think I know a kaiju fan that hasn't been in that. Yeah, I think we all kind of started there. Like once you start getting into it and start learning how it's made and like who's producing it and who's behind the camera, what were the physical effects and who's in the suits. Yeah, it kind of gets a little, you know. I mean, honestly, I've seen the same treatment applied to like the Friday the 13th movies with like who's behind the Jason mask.
Totally. Right? I get it.
Yeah.
And there's suit actors I prefer over other suit actors, but I also have appreciation for CGI and things like that because there are things that couldn't have been done. And like the way that some of those suit actors really suffered. I mean, like Hiro Nakajima, like he suffered in that suit. It was hot. It was the conditions of being like half drowned when they were those scenes of Godzilla like in the water that he's getting almost drowned inside his suit.
Yep. Yeah,
and the suits weigh a lot.
Yeah, they do. You do that because they didn't have the same materials that they can use now. And
I mean, they're made of like rubber tires that were melted down to look like he could look like Cookie Monster for a minute. But yeah, 1954 Godzilla is a little.
I always think about what it smells like in there.
I bet foul.
Yeah, right.
B.O.
So then you went from like you were on Kaiju Cast, and then you like just, and so did you start with Japanese horror, or well, obviously you had that weird ass '80s movie, but did you like continue as a kid like watching just horror movies in general?
Well, yes. Okay. I was a weird kid. I was a creepy, spooky. I mean, big shocker. Whoa.
Right.
I mean, that's why my handle is Gretchen is weird because I mean. I remember being, oh God, this is terrible.
Tell me.
No, there's just all those moments of like, I look back at my childhood. I had this friend that was equally creepy, and we would like, our parents worked at the hospital, and so we would listen to like autopsy tapes.
Oh my God, you was that kid. Okay,
I was that kid. Yeah, I was that weirdo.
All right. Well, to be fair, you're talking to another variation of a weirdo. Like, I was talking to another friend of mine who's going to be on the show later, and I'll let him tell it then. But we recently shared that we both used to run around our neighborhoods dressed up as ninjas.
Hey,
jumping out of trees and making our own like smoke bombs, and
I love that.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, I pretended to be a replicant from Blade Runner.
That's awesome.
I was all like, you just can't tell because you can't see that far back. Like
right. Oh, you know what movie came up on my on my Plex account recently? Do you remember Screamers with Peter Weller?
I just rewatched that.
Did you? Okay, I'm actually gonna rewatch it like this weekend.
Terrible.
It is, but I love it.
Oh my god! So what that made me watch is like my Valentine and I were watching that watching Screamers, and then I was all, do you remember that one with Gene Simmons and the robot one, the Runaway?
Anyways,
With Runaways, that's what it
anyways,
is.
yep.
Runaways with Tom Selleck. Oh my
Oh god, it's so
god!
bad. Wait, is that the one
Ah,
where they had the weird like robot spider too?
yes,
Yep.
that's what that Screamers made me
That
think I had
because
to
that
watch
yes,
that.
that
Totally.
one. So I want to watch that, and I want to watch. I think it's called Puppet Masters with Donald Sutherland. Did you see that one? It was about like parasitic aliens that
Oh,
attach to your
that's
back.
Invasion of Body. Oh,
Wait, no. Well, they're all like that.
wait.
I think it's
Yes,
called Puppet Masters. I'll show it to you
I
later.
think not the retro, like not the like the dark
This was like
dark.
90s.
Wait, so like Half Moon stuff, like that had the
I think
little like
I think
no.
so. You know what?
How
I
many puppet masters are there?
There's a lot, right? See, now I gotta go find it. You're
Nah.
making me curious. Good old Donald Sutherland. There it is. It's a 1994 film. There it
Okay.
is. Okay, so let me see.
Is it called Puppet Masters?
It is called Puppet Masters, and I will show it to you right now.
Oh boy.
That
Live
thing.
live reaction. Ah. Oh my
Look at
god, I
that.
haven't seen that in a million years.
Right? I
That
forgot
was
all
like the year
about
I
it.
graduated high school. Wow. I honestly haven't thought about that film in so long. I could have sworn it was named something else.
You know, me I forgot about it too, but I always do. This is the genre, and maybe you can help me. This is the genre that always freaks me out the most is where something takes over the human body, or like because in this one
Yeah.
it's like it almost looks like a manta ray, and it attaches to your back and inserts into your spine, and then you're the thing.
Yeah.
Does that have a
Yes.
genre name or
Mm,
anything?
um I mean, wouldn't it fall under like alien invasion stuff too though?
Probably. Yeah. I
Because
guess that
there's
makes
like
sense.
it's that era, that time of like that was during kind of the end of like our fears of uh, aliens and whatnot, or a beginning of like really serious fears of aliens and thinking that aliens are going to control us. And it was like it was what a like a there was like some election at the time, I think, that was
Mm.
very poignant, that there was a shift in government, and so our fears were reflected in the sense of like things are going to control us. And I feel like that kind of comes from that era.
That makes sense. Ooh,
I
that's
mean,
a good.
horror movies in general, that's what they do. They're oftentimes like a reflection of what our fears are currently.
That would be a good series to do.
Mm.
The correlation between the horror movies and the decades and the
Oh
eras and
yeah,
what was going
absolutely.
on.
Absolutely. There's Cold War films that are like Cold War era, like horror films that are very reflective of like atomic age ones. I mean,
Hmm.
Godzilla itself is a reflection of that because it's talks about it's a atomic weapons and
Right.
what our fear of like what radiation could do.
Hmm. Yeah. I see, and this is why I have her on the show, y'all, because I didn't even
Ah!
think about that. So um, okay, so let's get into some of your work. Like you've done a lot of
Okay.
stuff, and I'm gonna pull up a couple things here and there. Now I know
Okay.
some stuff you may not be going any, you're
Past
not
projects.
past projects, but like some of them are still available, to listen to. So this is one that I found, and I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about this project and how you got involved with this one in particular.
So this is People's Guide to the Cthulhu Mythos. The hosts are David Heath and DB Spitzer and myself. I think I've been the person who takes basically was my position is now is Laura Gore, Auntie Gore. She's like a drag performer,
Mm-hmm.
and that show, I've been with the I so
Mm-hmm.
it
Yep.
started off with they were doing a panel at HP Lovecraft Film Festival, and they had a panelist step out, and then they approached me to talk about Lovecraft in Japan, and I kind of didn't know what exactly to do, but I was like, oh, I mean I do know a lot about those things. And so it just a little bit of research and found a bunch of like hilarious to also troubling things. And also prior to that, the HP Lovecraft Film Festival had Chiaki Kanata there, and he is not only a big kaiju nerd because he wrote like prolifically wrote the Ultraman here I am on a tangent. Ultraman Gaia, and he wrote all of the Ultra Q dark fantasy stuff, and he also did a reimagining of the Innsmouth story. My brain's blanking, but yeah. So he did an Innsmouth film, and that kind of got the ball rolling for me of understanding that Lovecraft had a presence in Japanese culture, especially like, oh my God, they are obsessed with the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Yep. I've only played it a few times with some friends. I was in a long game for a minute, but like beyond that, like I didn't know that it was such a big deal. That the Chaosium is gigantic in Japan. But anyways, back to the Lovecraft podcast. I filled in for their a panelist and the Lovecraft in Japan segment, and they were like, "Hey, we would love to have you on our show." Like, and so they interviewed me first, and that was fun. And then they were like, "We kind of want you to stick around." And I was like, "Oh, this would be great." And it was like weekly, we were doing episodes, and like it was just like boom, boom, boom. So I was like doing that show, doing guesting on different shows I got asked to be on, like just to talk about movies. And I was still doing like some Kaiju cast stuff occasionally because it had moved to an online format because the controller of the show, the producer, comptroller, Kyle, had moved to Japan, and so we were doing the show kind of like remotely. And that was good. And he also had moved on to a different project, YouTube channel show. So
okay, is this them? That's
People's Guide to the Cthulhu Mythos.
Oh, okay.
That was from.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
So you do a lot, so I'm getting mixed up. But
no. Yeah, the People's Guide to the Cthulhu Mythos, that was from Fan Expo this year.
Okay. This is from Fan Expo. Do you remember what year this was? Was this
year? Because I was in a sling. I injured my hand and had
That's why your arms are down. Okay. No.
Yeah, it was such a weird, like, oh man. And I have to talk with my hands, and so I was all with that sling on. Oh, it was miserable.
I saw the other pictures from this though, and it looked like you had a very nice audience there. Pretty good turnout, and
they asked weird questions, that's for sure. Oh boy.
Well, yeah. As another panelist, I can tell you, yeah, I've been hit with some doozies in the past. But yeah. So this one is still available to
I'm still on a bunch of episodes of that. You can just look for my name if you're interested, but you can just listen to the show and enjoy it. I haven't listened to it recently. I've kind of I have trouble listening to the things I've been on. I don't know about you, but I don't like to go back and watch. I barely like to watch the YouTube show that I'm on. I only check for color and make sure that the sound sounds good. And I'm like, all right, goodbye.
I only, you know what? Now that I think about it, yeah, it's not like I sit here and watch my own videos or anything. The one that gives me the most problems is if I go back and watch my old music videos sometimes.
Oh, are you like back cringe? You're like, ugh.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of action scenes and my ass is so out of shape during that. And I'm like,
oh my God, stop.
I remember how much my knees hurt when I was filming that, stuff like that. But so since we're mentioning it, let's go over to
these savages in the background here.
Oh boy, are they acting up?
Yeah, they're kittens still, and they're just like attacking each other. It's ridiculous.
Let's talk about this because you also became a film judge for not one but two different festivals. So
yeah.
did you like get one and they were like, well, come over and do this one, or did they just say we want you for both immediately? Like, how did?
Well, they are the directors of those film festivals are the same. So the same people run both festivals.
Okay, but yeah, but I didn't know if they still like wanted to have a different audience
Yeah.
here and then a different
Yes.
judge here. But
Well, and I think there are some, but I think there's also a lot of crossover too, just because it's a lot of work to watch um, independent films, and especially independent shorts and low budget, and you have
hmm
to have a lot of patience and a lot of understanding, and not and try not to look at it in the there's a lot of times where I'll go, I wish they had more budget. This would have They could have carried the story forward.
right,
And I will often give grace to films like that because I love a good earnest film. I mean, if you're an earnestly trying hard and it shows up in your work, you're gonna get a pass from me because I want to see what you can do and like see you go further. We use Film Freeway, and so it's all very anonymous, except for like between the people that can actually see each other's comments or whatnot. Um, but yeah, so I started off doing just the HP Lovecraft Film Festival, and then ended up migrating over to do both film festivals.
okay. Do, do
Yeah.
does the judges panel have like I mean, I feel like this is an obvious yes, but you obviously have some sort of like critique criteria that you
Oh
all
yeah,
adhere to. Okay.
yes. There's a guide. There's like a guideline of like different film, like what they're looking for, like if it has like your rating scales of production, cinematography, acting, um, inclusion of diversity, inclusion, and things like that. These are all
hmm
criteria that you're trying to hit,
Yeah.
and like when you're looking at films.
And I would imagine too, as the industry progresses, you would have to start including even more, or certain change certain things, and see like where does CGI fall in at this point? Like if you're like
Well,
not the independent people have a ton of money to do that shit, but
no,
like
but like if you're using AI and it's super clear,
yeah,
I can't say that's like I've there was a film that was submitted I feel like a few years ago that was like AI was still in its infancy, but then I realized that this filmmaker submitted multiple films that were AI produced, and they just none of them were very good. There was too much uncanny valley, or the
mm,
narrative didn't make sense. So I mean I understand people using AI as a tool, but like using it to do the completion of the work is like I think
mm-mm.
not. Yeah,
That's a hell
but
no, dog.
right, but the tools, I get where the tool comes into play. Like there are moments that I'm like, well, this would be smoother if. And I think that it's kind of like any other like sandbox we get into, that
Mm,
if you're not playing the real game right, then somebody's going to get hurt or get dirt in their hair or
mm,
sand in their
mm.
hair. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
So I'm
yeah,
not an AI hater, but I am I'm a AI responsible user is what I would say. I
same,
would prefer people
same.
would be.
Yeah, I mean, as you can imagine, you know that I've been in comics forever. This is something we talk about
Yeah.
for we
Yeah.
talk about almost daily at this point. Uh, I do agree with it being used as a tool, and I know artists that do use it as a tool, but like for like flats or renders or color things, stuff like that. Not to
Right.
make like the whole damn project. Like once I
Right.
started seeing somebody sell a complete graphic novel that was drawn and written by AI and was like, I made this and buy it from me. I was like, you could eat some bricks, son. I'm not buying.
Right.
I'm not buying that. But wow. Okay, so one podcast down.
Ah,
Film judge. Yeah, one. Like we got a ways to go, slackers. I just want you to understand. I'm just getting started with Gretchen here. Um,
is my
okay.
resume that long? I was like I have trouble selling myself, so I'm always like, what do I write?
Well,
Like
that's what you got me for.
podcast.
All right, let's go over to this one because this is one that I have uh, subscribed to on Spotify. Um, Gwen and Gretchen watch movies,
Oh,
and there are how many episodes now? We were on episode 6. Yeah,
6. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm gonna
We're
go down
working
the
on
list.
episode 7 this weekend.
How did you? Okay, so episode 1 is about the Serpent and the Rainbow, which is one of my favorite movies. How did you decide to start there?
I love that was my pick.
Oh,
I
hell
don't know
yeah.
if you listened to that episode. That is my
Oh,
pick.
okay.
I
No,
love that episode. That was our baby. We were Gwen and I. Gwen is also the director of the HP Lovecraft Film Festival and the Portland Horror Film Festival.
got it.
We became friends like through me volunteering there, and we just became buddies. And then like she's one of my best friends, and we during the pandemic were like I think a year before the pandemic we were like, oh, we're gonna start a podcast, and it just never came to fruition. We were so busy, and then like pandemic hit, and then and just being the creatures that we both are, we would be like, yes, we're gonna do this thing, and then not do it. And then we kind of made a commitment in 2024. We were like, all right, this
Okay.
is happening. We've got the equipment, we've got the know-how, let's do this. And we shot a promo for it, holding ourselves accountable. And so we shot like a video promo and then ran that promo during the HP Lovecraft Film Festival, basically saying in Halloween of 2024,
Mm-hmm.
we are doing our first episode. That's our inaugural episode. And I was like, I want to do Serpent and the Rainbow because it has so many elements of filmmaking that I love. And
Yeah.
script is phenomenal. Story is spectacular. I used to live in New Orleans. I have a Veve tattooed on my back of
Ooh.
Urzuli.
Yeah.
And
Dope.
yeah. So I was like, we have to do Serpent and the Rainbow. And I just read this book called The Soul of Wes Craven, and it was about
Hmm.
like all of Wes Craven's like different films and basically doing like the background research of like what happened on the set of this film, and we kind of deep dive into that on that first show. Yeah.
Okay. Um, I have it listed down to do. This is something you didn't know, but um, I have challenged myself with learning how to knit this year,
Oh wow.
and so several friends of mine have decided that we added this to our playlist. Whereas I'm trying to knit. I'm going to be listening to this series because I have a bunch of horror fan friends over here
Oh my
as
gosh.
well.
Well, the
Like you
sound of the
know,
first one's a little rough.
hey, go back and watch one of my first videos on this channel. You'll see, it's not great. Um, but I thought that this would be an interesting thing because, like, I know you and I like the subject matter. And then once I saw the
Oh,
list, I was like, yo, I could do this. And so, um, yeah, if that's my plans for the future, I'm excited to hear
oh,
what you and Gwen
good.
have to say. Uh, because I'll be honest, I didn't listen to it yet, but once I saw that you started with the Serpent and the Rainbow, that movie has always stuck with me.
It's
Uh,
beautiful. It's
yeah,
beautiful. And also, I forgot to mention one of the other reasons why I picked it is has there's a voiceover work done by like my one of my favorite singers. She does the all of the shrilling and the trills and the screams and like so like the scene where the voodoo priestess
this
like
is
rises and pull her face open and like the
yeah.
snake comes out.
Ah,
Um, that sound is done by Diamanda Galas, and she is like, oh, that's
ooh,
my goth queen. I love her. Like,
okay, okay. I'm gonna have to
yes,
check that out.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
side note, for some
Hmm.
reason, and I don't think it's a good movie, but for some reason, I think the imagery in the movie Prince of Darkness always comes back to mind.
That's a
Uh,
great movie.
it is great. Like, I mean, it has like I went back and watched it recently. It's got it's old, so it's got a couple of hangups
Yeah,
here and there. But like, I felt like there were some scenes in there that were ahead of its time. Uh,
yeah.
right, yeah,
I fucking love that movie. That is, I love they call that the Carpenter uh what is it, the Apocalypse trilogy.
mm,
That's
okay,
like that movie. Uh, The Thing and
The Thing, yeah.
In the Mouth of Madness. Those are the Apocalypse trilogy.
That makes sense. Yeah, I like all of those. I
Yeah.
see that episode 6 is on They Live, which ain't nothing but a fucking comedy to me. I love that movie.
So ridiculous. It's a lot
So,
of fun. That was a
right.
fun one. That was Gwen's pick. Mine was It's Alive and what was the Nightbreed one. That
Oh,
one got a little
man.
personal.
Nightbreed is rough.
Well, and we interviewed the guy who did the Cabal cut, Russell Charrington.
Oh,
We
yeah.
interviewed him for that film, for that episode. That was a
Yeah.
good time.
But I mean, like, Nightbreed for me is could be a trauma inducing movie for some people.
I mean, I kind of touch about that a little bit because it's so representative of I mean,
Yeah.
it's growing up like queer, like this film like kind of touches on that feeling of being like an outsider.
Yep.
And so I think that like that film really spoke volumes to me, and I talk about that in the episode as well. Like,
Okay.
I don't give too much away. That way
Yeah.
y'all can watch it or
Right.
listen.
Maybe we'll do a listening party for that one, and then we'll have a
Ah,
discussion.
oh boy.
Yeah. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. You said it earlier about how somebody was like, "Oh, we kind of want you to stay." Slackers. The whole time that I've been talking to her, I've been thinking about how am I going to get Gretchen back on this show.
Ah,
Just thinking.
talk about movies. We can talk about movies. That's easy
Right.
for me to do.
Okay. We still have to go on to like. Okay, that's another one down. Now we're gonna go over to this one, which is another current project.
Yes.
And that is Check the
Yeah.
Gate. And let me tell y'all something right now. I have watched some of this, particularly like me and my homie watched the first episode for Godzilla Minus One.
Oh,
And,
good.
and you know, because my homie, who I think you actually met at Rose City Comic Con, my homie that moved from Chicago that lives with me, he's a huge kaiju head, period.
Oh, dude, I
So
would
when I
love
told
to
him,
talk to him.
so I told him who you were, and I was like, "Yo, this is what I was talking about." He was like, "I understand now."
Ah,
So let me just scroll through here, and then I want to show some examples of this one. But
okay.
as you can see, y'all, they've got several episodes for y'all to check out.
We are
big-
working hard on that show right now.
Right?
We just got listed as iTunes number 25 on film podcasts.
Hell yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
up.
It was,
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. It is I'm kind of like I want to shout it from the rooftops, but also I'm a little embarrassed, but it's
Why?
really great.
Oh yeah,
Self-promoting.
self-promoting. Yes,
Ugh.
that thing.
Yeah.
Let me show the audience a couple clips from this. First, I'm going to
Oh,
show
yeah.
2 shorts, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Here's one that just so you can get a feel for how the show is presented. So here we go.
Details are what made me fall in love with like films and being a film nerd.
Yeah, absolutely. And it really is a film school of all the different ways of being able to do special effects prior to computers doing anything.
Oof. I love
Oh,
that.
Danger Diabolic was a
yeah.
fun one. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, actually, I have a Diabolic action figure that I play with all the time. Yeah, they made it some years back, but it's one of my favorites because he
I'm
comes
so jealous.
he comes with like his little knives, his little backpack. He even comes with a little diamond.
Oh, so is he based off of like the more recent films, or is he based off of the '70s stuff?
It's a little bit of both. So when they made it, they did like a combination of like you could do either one.
Oh,
You know, because the suit for the
shoot.
most part is a little bit of the same. You know,
Yeah,
just
it's
as long
like
as
a
you have
bondage suit.
Right, right. But it's I'll show it to you next time.
Oh, that's
we meet
rad.
up. It's pretty cool.
I'm hunting for a one sheet. I don't like you can't see them very well, but I collect one sheets, and I'm looking for a Danger Diabolic one sheet, like from like the Bava like era. That's what
Okay.
I'm looking for.
I'll keep my eye out for
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
Then that's like that poster. I was like, oh, it is so beautiful because I just think I love like the close up of like Diabolic's like face, and in the 70s. Okay, I don't want to. I could like get off track.
She's about to go off, y'all. She's about to go off. Look at it. See.
I am a nerd. How's it going?
All right, no, we'll come back and we'll do another one on that. But I want to get into another small clip, y'all, because there's there's layers here. So check this out too.
Gretchen, what's the next movie we're watching?
The Company of Wolves by Neil Jordan, 1984.
This film is so good. I am just excited to see this film again and be able to watch it with Gretchen. Make sure that you like, subscribe, you download, you do all the cool stuff because it's the only way that our parents know that we're getting attention.
Yeah.
You see that? You see that right there? That's how promotive she gets. She's like, do the thing, yeah.
Yeah, smash the button, like it, subscribe.
I said what I said. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit like that too. A lot of times when I do like these videos of music reactions at the end, I'm always like, okay, thanks for watching. You know, do the stuff YouTubers ask you to do.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to do it like in sound where I sound like myself because we've practiced many times and he's just like, all right.
Well, you have a great.
My co-host is fantastic. Martin Vavra and I were on the Kaiju cast together as well.
Yeah.
And Martin is like a very prolific filmmaker, short filmmaker in Portland, as well as like a cosplayer. Like he does a lot of like Halo cosplay. He is rad, and so it's so much. And he also does like Star Wars stuff too. I mean, I'll gloss over because I'm not. Don't ask me about Star Wars, people. I don't know. It's not my nerd. It's not my nerd. My nerd is other things. I know.
I don't actually care. I'm not.
Don't come for me.
I'm not one of those people. Like I watch it, but I'm not like.
Yeah.
You know, like, and here's the lore, and this is why this is wrong. And I don't care.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I could do that probably about kaiju films, so Godzilla stuff.
I know.
Sure.
I've seen you do that about kaiju films.
Yeah.
So I've heard you about kaiju films.
Maybe.
And then like those were small clips that that I found, but I do have an example of how one of the episodes starts, and I'm not going to do the whole thing because these are long episodes, y'all. But just take a look. Let's just watch a few minutes of this, just so you can see what I'm talking about. And here we go.
You know, normal monsters, it would be like, is this food or fight or whatever kind of response? He's not like obviously hungry. I mean, he does eat them, which is something I'd never seen. I don't think I've ever seen Godzilla eat somebody before, really. Like chomp, like.
No. Well, so the Dean Devlin one, doesn't Godzilla chomp a couple of people in there?
Oh, well, yeah, you're talking about 1998 Godzilla?
Yeah, but I think it's like chomps him. Doesn't this one we actually see Godzilla like grab and
somebody,
kinda, like throw and
and, like a dinosaur.
Yes.
See that part right there? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I could tell because I know you in that scene. You was like, "Oh, the 1998 one." Well, like I almost felt like he was about to say that shit don't count. We ain't talking about that, but
that's not Godzilla.
That's good. But no, it's great, and I was one of the unfortunate people that did not get to see -1 in the theater. I was going through too much at the time, and I'm so definitely. Sorry. That's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna go see it in the theater when it eventually comes back because it will.
It came back last year because they did it 1 year, but also he's working on the next film.
I know
right now. Yeah,
I know. Now I do own it now. Like,
oh, you do? Good. Do you own the one that has like both colors, like the black and white? Oh, yes, that's so good. That's a good one. Yeah, it's a good.
Yes, I do. Oh, look, Kitty.
I know this is Clovis.
How can you tell?
Because he's short haired and really ornery. But yeah,
okay.
He's short haired. Jordy has long hair.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
this is them. Yeah, that's right. That's
when they first came home. Yeah, when they first came home.
How old were they?
They're like 8 weeks right there, or 9 weeks right there. Yeah.
Okay.
The short-haired one is Clovis, and the long-haired one is Jordy. They're named after Stephen King characters.
Nice.
But yeah, they're flame-tipped Siamese cats. They're so cute, or like mixed.
They are very cute.
Yeah, they're cute.
You're very
Do
cute.
you big fan of like Stephen King movies?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so he's from Sleepwalkers, Clovis the
Okay,
Attack
who's
Cat.
that?
Yeah, yeah. And then
Where's Jordy
Jordy
from though? Yeah, I don't know that one.
Creep Show, the life of the tragedy of Jordy from Creep Show where he's like meteor shit.
Oh,
That's Stephen King's character. That was Stephen King, and
okay.
so that's what Jordy's named after. He's like, Jordy, you lunkhead. That's my boy.
Okay. Well, my
Remember when he
latest.
grows like the green beard?
Yeah. Oh my God. I forgot all about that.
That's where my other son's name is from.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think all of my Slack pack knows that I have 3 cats as well. I have
Oh,
Batman.
you have 3 cats?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have Batman. He is 22 pounds of cuddles. I think he is a Turkish Angora mix.
Wow.
But yeah, he's all black. And then we have Thursday, who is a tuxedo cat, and he is from the streets, and he act like it. And then our latest cat, Tippy, is named after Tippy from the Hitchcock film.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Although, when we first got her, she was like maybe 9 pounds, and here we are 3 months later, and she's like 14 pounds.
Wow.
And so, right, like she was like this little skinny thing. So my new nickname for her is Fatness Everdeen, champion of the Hunger Games, and I love it.
My old cat, he passed away like 2024. He was 20 years old, but he was an orange cat. I named him the Murder Loaf because at one point he was like 20 pounds and he was a killer of birds. And so we were like, well, or I also called him after that Simpsons episode, Fatty Boomalatti.
It's funny because we call Tippy our little loaf too.
Yeah. No, my boys are not loafers yet. They're still little guys.
Yeah.
Hyper.
She's also known as
very hyper.
Tippy One Stocking because she's got like one leg that's just I don't know.
I don't think I've seen her. Yeah,
you'll like her.
Cute.
She is very cute. Damn, I forgot what we were doing. I think there's another thing. Oh yes, I wanted to ask about this. Let me share this because I read that you recently became a brand ambassador for Gargantuan Design. How did that happen?
So this toy designer, so also on top of my like kaiju nerddom, I'm a toy collector of Sofubi specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a few examples here. This is a X Plus Kamada-kun Godzilla. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of like of toy, like especially kaiju toys and yokai toys. But like Japanese vinyl toys. Yeah. And this artist, her name is Rachel Kingery, and she reached out to me after I purchased one of the Godzilla, the Hedorah up there with the pizza slice. She does specifically like Hedorah based ones. So I purchased that one from her and was like, oh my God, I love this. This is hysterical. I have a big tattoo of Hedorah as well. It was like my first like non-Godzilla like kaiju that I was like, oh boy, I love this kind of monster. Like I love a good, like weird kind of splooshy monster. And because he's the smog monster. And she was looking for people that had a little bit of like a reach on Instagram and whatnot, or just like on social media that would be willing to do photographs and like take pictures and do like promoting for her toy company. And I was like, sign me up. I love Hedorah. And then I have like I have her Valentine's Day one, and then I also have recently I did a video for her ramen one that was like me eat ramen. Yeah, it was like a reel or something I did on Instagram.
Nice. And you're talking about this one, right? Though, but like you did a reel about this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a Ramen Dora. Yeah, he's so cute. He's just so cute.
Nice.
But I've been really flattered that And also I run this. I'm part of this group that runs a for kaiju women, or women in the kaiju, like women that are into kaiju,
Yeah.
like subgroup that's kind of fun, and like she's a part of that as well. But
Oh, that's
yeah,
really cool.
yeah,
I'll make sure
little
to.
space.
Is it open to other people to join, or
Only women, yeah.
no? That's what I meant. Like other
Oh
women. Okay.
yeah. It's on
Okay.
Facebook. It's like
Okay.
a Facebook group.
Okay. I will find that and put a link
Oh yeah,
in the
thank you.
description. Actually, there'll be links to
Kaiju
everything we're
ladies.
talking about here in the description. So make sure to look for that. But yes, it is only for ladies. I'm sure they will keep your dumb ass out if you try to enter and you're not a lady. I hope they will. But yeah, no, I'll put that down there as well. And then, okay, so this is everything that you're doing like right now, and like you're busy. Like, are you still planning anything else? Like, you got something else coming up? What's up?
Well, why not add to the plate of busy? I also do like, okay, I model for a skincare for a salon in Portland
Okay.
that does it's like a spa. They do spa packages, and
Ooh.
I model for one called Skin Love PDX, and that's the wonderful Allison. She makes my skin look beautiful, and they do promotional work for her. And then
Okay.
on top of that, I'm currently going to write a book. Wow.
Because why
Yeah,
not,
I'm
right? Because why
right.
not? Yeah.
I'm already busy. Why not?
Mm,
I mean, I also like don't talk about this very often, but I do a lot of panels too. Like
yeah.
I just recently did a panel on kaiju films at Crypticon in Seattle, and did the one at like the one with People's Guide to Cthulhu Mythos beginning of the year. So yeah, and Rose City Comic Con is upon us, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's happening. All the
Yeah. I
things,
think I'm
all the
planning my.
things.
I'm putting the finishing touches on my panel for Rose City right now. So.
I'm working on ours too. I'm trying to decide if I'm
Yeah.
gonna do. I want to do like I would like to do a few different ones. I'd like to be tagged to be on ones that aren't ones that I have to make, because I'm like, yes, I would love to be like, bring me in as a just like the talk on the show, talk on the panel, not
I ain't
have
gonna
to be
lie.
a
I love doing
moderator.
those where I just gotta show up and
Yeah,
talk. Those are my favorite. But like
yes,
when I
I
gotta,
love that. Whew,
yeah,
it's my favorite. I think I
yep.
did I got asked to do one year for Rose City Comic Con. A friend of mine asked me to be a panelist that talk about horror elements in Star Trek.
Oh, oh,
That was
interesting.
fun. I had so much fun. I was all like, all right, here we
It's
go.
funny because I do a different Star Trek panel each year.
Oh,
Usually with Sarah at Fan Expo.
Sarah's the one who asked me to do
I
that.
knew it. I knew it. I was like, I bet you it was Sarah. That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do a different one for Sarah. That's hilarious. Um, okay, cool. Which I'm gonna
Yeah.
have her on. I'm gonna have her on the show too. Obviously.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah. Um, so you're writing a book about what?
So I'm gonna write a tokusatsu source book, but kind of more like putting the more of the lens on horror in tokusatsu films. Big surprise, because
Right.
I feel like there's a lot of source books for kaiju films specifically, but like I would like to, as far as tokusatsu, there's a lot of kaiju film books. There are a few Japanese science fiction horror film books. I've got a few of them up here on my shelf.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, there's not a lot of crossover. Like, I would like to talk a little bit about horror elements in kaiju films, as well as doing like Sentai, all of the above. Like, so I
Ooh.
kind of want to like cover those eras. I feel like there's things that we talk about, like generalizing tokusatsu stuff between like Sentai, Kaiju, Henshin, and all of the above, like Kaiju and
That's funny.
general
Okay.
just horror films. But like I would like to kind of more put a focus on that. So that book's in the works. I'm just starting the outlines and like starting to like be like, hey, I'm actually gonna write a book, and I'm kind of like leaning on people who I know that have written books, and so I can kind of get a little bit of more of an idea. I'm currently reading Nightmare Cinema from Ken Newman. He's a film critic that also wrote a source book. I don't know anything about him as a person, so I don't know if he's like a terrible human being. I have no idea. I'm sure he's fine.
Oh,
I
God.
just before. I mean, he's not. He's not a good person.
No, I said I hope he's not. That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
No,
I was like,
no.
no.
Damn, that would be messed up. No.
Oh, you're
No,
like,
my
well,
bad. I was
actually,
laughing at the same
he
time.
ate his family.
Oh
Oh,
my
boy.
God. You know, honestly, though, I hope he's not a bad person at all. But like with the amount of news we get these days about people, like
Right.
you know, you never
But
know.
it's a little, don't meet your idols, man.
Right.
What can I say?
Yeah, I've had my dreams crushed a few times in the last 3 years.
Same. Neil Gaiman.
Damn, I wasn't gonna say it, but she went there. Mm.
Man.
yeah. That's the one. That's the one I was thinking of. Jeez. You know, okay, so can you give me an example of some of the horror film titles that you're referencing for this book? Because I'm not very familiar. Like, what are some examples of his films?
Oh, of tokusatsu?
Yeah.
Oh, tokusatsu is kind of like a genre. It means like
Oh, I
it's
thought this was a
more-
person. Okay, my
Oh
bad.
no, that's Subaraya you're thinking of. Like Subaraya who does like Ultraman and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
my bad. Okay.
No, it's
It's the
fine.
genre. What?
There are a lot of names.
Yeah.
A lot
Okay.
of
Never
Japanese
mind.
names.
Gotcha. Speaking of Henshin, though, I have been watching a lot of Kamen Rider.
Dude, are you watching Kamen Rider Black Sun?
Yes, I'm watching Kamen Rider
Holy
Black Sun.
crap! Holy crap! That beginning was
Woo!
like that first episode. I was like, oh my god!
I wasn't ready.
The kaijin, like the kaijin suppression. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what is even happening? This is so like topical. You know. Oh my god, it was impressive.
there
I'm
was-
really enjoying Black Sun.
Black Sun is great. There's a couple other ones. Like I have everything right now. Like I managed to acquire
Have you
every.
seen Shin?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then what did I watched Ultraman Shin like a month ago, I think 2 months
Did you
ago.
love it?
It was crazy.
I love it.
I like it. It's so wacky though. Like it's dark and wacky.
Well, and that's the thing is like
Yeah.
people don't always like think about kaiju films being like having these elements of horror. And again, that's why I want to write this book because there are a lot of them. And Shin Ultraman is
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell like Ano is just this is like he wrote Daikon, so or like or yeah, and he's like having his humble beginnings being like him doing those home videos that he did of like him doing an Ultraman, him being Ultraman.
That suit,
oh
I
my
will
god,
never forget that
I
suit.
love it. I love it. Again, earnest filmmaking, man. I am like a fan. There will be some really crappy films that I'll be like, I just love this film because it is like the worst, but I still love it. And it's alive. People don't give that one enough love, and that's why I did an episode on it because I think it's a fantastic film. It's very, very political. Like has a lot of really interesting like stories. The characters are pretty well developed. I mean, like it's phenomenal. But I don't think those kinds of films get enough love. But again, relating back to like, yes, horror elements. Ta-da.
Makes sense. I don't know. I mean, I love the horror elements too, but also I got into watching Kamen Rider because I like the design of the monsters and the suits and the you know, and all that. But like another thing, like I started to actually react to Kamen Rider episodes on my channel. And I'm going to do some more of those because I saw a clip one day, and I don't remember if it was from old school Super Sentai or Kamen Rider, but one of them was fighting a bad guy named Starfish Hitler, which is a giant starfish with a Hitler mustache. And I was like, okay, I got to see this.
More than anything, I think it's probably a reused suit from an Ultraman episode too. So that happens a lot too, as far as with especially with kaiju films and like Toho and Daiei stuff that like some people use. I mean, like look at like Ultra Q. We have Gomez is made of a Godzilla suit with a frill. Godzilla suit with the horn.
With the horn added to it.
Yeah.
And
Juras is the frill one.
That's funny.
Right?
You know, I got a series for you. You might be familiar with it already, but have you ever watched a series called Garo? Garo?
Like, is it the horror one?
it's almost like a Super Sentai horror show
Wait.
where these guys transform into these big golden dragon knight looking dudes.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Garo. I remember
Yes.
like the soundtrack for it is ridiculous.
It
It
is,
kind of
it is.
reminds me of it feels like the same vein as those Seiya stuff.
Say a little bit, yeah. The suits
Like
for
in that-
sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
It all starts to
there's a
melt
lot
together,
of
man, when you look at a lot of it over the years.
that was my first experience with that genre and introducing horror into it. I didn't really understand that, and so I just watched it on a whim one day, and then I saw like a bunch of poltergeists and some demons, and then like a guy transform into a magic suit, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna be watching this. So, all right, so you got a book coming out, and I want to
Well, eventually.
eventually. Feel free to bug me about any resources you might need as well. I can always
Oh,
point you
thanks. Thank you.
to some people as well. So that's cool. Anything else we need to know about that I missed besides you being also a cat mom again?
Oh, I know, it's so great. I'm so bad at this.
That's all right. It ain't like we didn't cover 15 million things, right?
Right. Follow my socials. That's the easiest way to find out what I'm doing because I'm pretty good about posting them for the most part to my Instagram at least. I have one main Instagram and then I do some of the Instagram stuff for Gretchen and Gwen Gwen and Gretchen watch movies, and then we're working on some Patreon and stuff we're going to be putting together for Check the Gate podcast.
Perfect.
We're going to be looking to do like we're going to do some social media with some like minor interactions, but we're working on like what we're going to do for our Patreon. Yeah.
Okay, word up. And again, Slackers, I will put links to everything I can find in the description. Make sure to go look for that so you can follow Gretchen on all these platforms and listen to her 1,700 podcasts, and then listen to and watch Check the Gate. And, also check out those toys because those are dope,
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to put all of that in there, and then make sure you come back to my channel because I'm also going to have Gretchen on for one of my 5 questions of Serious Black segments. And I think we're going to do some music reactions. We're going to do some music reactions, together as well. So make sure you come look for that and see what we get into. Anything you want to say before we peace out of here?
Like and subscribe.
Do all the YouTube stuff.
Stuff.
That stuff. All right, everybody. I'm going to give y'all peace, and I'm going to get on out of here. Peace, y'all. Bye.